The female sex organs as seen from outside. Here is the vagina.
So today,
we're going to be talking about
female masturbation. This is Ivy.
And this is Gidget.
And you're listening to Slut Shame This.
Yeah, we haven't drank since Vegas.
We went to Vegas.
Oh boy, did we.
We were there for 48 hours, but we got a whole Vegas experience packed into about 12.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
We got all dolled up and we went to
the Hard Rock.
The Hard Rock.
Where we did shots.
2 giant shots of tequila.
They were double and a half.
Yes.
Here. And we both looked beautiful.
You looked like an angel.
Wow, it was like a vision when I saw you. Yeah, we went to Magic Mike and it was wonderful.
And she ordered one of those giant blue drinks. And I was talking all this shit and I was like, ew, it's I ordered blue drink.
I'm like, can I have the XXL Spellbound? And Ivy starts cackling and making fun of me and she's like, can I just have a double vodka tonic? But then her drink was so strong that you had to chase it with my Spellbound, and he was laughing. I was laughing all the way to the bank with my Spellbound.
I would take a sip of my double vodka soda, which was horrific. It was just vodka.
8 shots of vodka in a tall glass.
And I would have to sip her Spellbound for a little palate cleanse.
I had to order a second Spellbound. Had to, wanted to. The lines are blurry, but I sure did. I order a second? I did. Did I get taken up for Candy Shop? I did.
She got taken up for Candy Shop. Mm-hmm. Was there whipped cream? I was a little far. You were a little far from.
There was whipped cream involved.
I thought so.
It wasn't my first time. I've been before, so.
Yeah, you knew your way around.
Well, the first time I went, I was selected randomly because the guys get to randomly because the guys get to pick who they for certain dances. They have to have people wearing certain things. So the guy who did that one picked me and came up. But then we became kind of friends.
Oh,
friends after the show.
Ooh,
and got to know each other.
The sexual tension is palpable.
It's not. Anyway, and then when I told him that we were coming, he was like, so I'm going to take you up for a candy shop again. And I was like, absolutely, you are. So
yeah.
In my situation, it wasn't entirely random because there had been some previous fraternization between the parties.
That was my first time ever seeing men be sexy for women.
And you were aroused, right?
I was deeply aroused. At first I was like, this is silly. This is willy-nilly silly. And I felt uncomfortable. I was like, I'm not used to being a lecherous woman watching a man dance for me. But it was so, if you've seen the movie Magic Mike, it's kind of like that. It's it surprisingly arouses you. You don't really expect it to hit you that way. And all of a sudden I was humping the chair and I was like,
Yeah, she was worked up.
I was worked up into a frenzy.
Yeah, I was. Because I had seen it before, but Ivy hadn't. And I was like, you'll like it, I promise. And at first she was like, oh, I know, it's weird. And then she was like, oh my God. She was like, does anyone have an extra pair of underwear?
I'm not wearing any. Jokes on everyone.
You're going to need to reupholster this chair.
Jesus, couch. It was actually so fun.
It was so fun.
But Magic Mike made me pretty horny.
Yeah.
Which made me kind of want to masturbate.
Oh, good segue.
So today,
we're going to be talking about
female masturbation. I feel like we have to whisper it because it's such a, like... Taboo, for sure. Like, it's not, but it is.
Masturbation. How do you spell masturbation?
I always spell it wrong, but it's master is M-A-S-T-U-R.
Oh.
Masturbation. Masturbation. Yes. So...
From the French for self-twiddling. When did you masturbate for the first time?
Oh, wow. We're going to dive in. So no one likes to really talk about masturbating because it's so vulnerable and personal. I really believe that it is like it's very personal, even more personal than having sex with someone else because it's just you and yourself.
It's exactly what you like. It's not performative. It's just for you. So it's like it's revealing a little bit. So I think that's why it's more vulnerable.
And also, I think that the first time everyone masturbates, sometimes they don't even realize that they're masturbating per se. Like, I didn't know what I was doing was considered masturbation.
How old were you?
I was really, really young. I feel like my first memories of self-stimulation, as they call it, was like being like a toddler and like humping like a big stuffed teddy bear of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I remember... knowing that it was sexual, like, intuitively, because when my parents would walk in, I would stop. And I'd be like, they need to get, like, my thoughts were like, they can't see this. And then the first time I had an orgasm, I was in my grandparents' jacuzzi.
How old were you?
I think I was like 10, 9, maybe 9. And I discovered the water jets. And I just put, we all know. Dude, the water jets are like a first time for a lot of us. And my vagina went in front of it and I felt the pressure and I was like, I just
kind of stayed there.
I'm like, let's linger here. But it's so funny because what you're doing is inherently quote unquote wrong because like the second my parents are going to come, I would like move like, hey, yeah, what? No, I was just playing with my Barbies.
Interesting.
So it was weird because I knew what I was doing was sexual clearly because I think that, like, the second you get sexual stimulation, it probably triggers sexual whatever. But I was so young, I wasn't thinking about like, man, I want to get fucked right now. And I was like 9. And then I used to also watch scramble porn. That's like maybe a little bit before your time.
What is that?
Scramble porn is when like local access cable, like cable access channels at night would turn into porn, but you had to like pay for it somehow, some way. But it would basically just turn into like this glitched out scramble, like VHS looking porn. It's like a staticky porn. So you'd catch a glimpse of a titty every now and then. And like you'd catch a glimpse of a penis every now and then and you could hear them. And I would sit downstairs and watch scramble porn. And then go upstairs and remember how good the jacuzzi felt. And I'd run my bath faucet and place myself strategically.
I had done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first time.
My experience was different because my parents were like, gave me like books about your body and were very like sexually, not like sexually open in a weird way, but kind of like, oh, here are books, like when you're ready to read them you can look at them, and they were like, for young girls and whatever. So I knew what masturbation was. I mean, I remember being really little and like the way I would sit on my heels, sometimes I'd be like, oh, ooh, this feels kind of good, but like it wasn't masturbation. Right. And then when I was like 8 or 9 and I had opened those books and whatever, I was like, I knew what I was doing was masturbation and it never felt wrong. Like, it's interesting to me, the hearing you talk about it and being like, oh, I felt like what I was doing was inherently wrong, whereas like my experience was so different because I felt like what I was doing was normal And it was just like my
there
time.
Wasn't a taboo around it. It was
Yeah,
just
it was like
this is my time.
My time to come into it. But I remember like the first time I was like, okay, I'm going to masturbate. I like put on a song that I thought was like sexy on like my
What was the song? What
iPod.
was the song?
And it was...
Was it
this
Candy
is going
by
to show
Mandy
how
Moore?
young I was. No, it was Hands Down by Dashboard Confessional.
Wait, which one is that?
It's the one about him losing his virginity.
Oh.
Do you not remember it?
I never
and it's
got
like,
into Dashboard.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to masturbate. And I put it on my AirPods. It
I'm
was
like,
certainly
okay,
not
you're
AirPods.
not that young.
I put on my earphones or headphones or whatever they were. And it was definitely like an iPod. Like the first iPod or whatever. And
Okay, we get it. You're young. Go on.
It's not that young. But I listened to it and I like masturbated. But then what I ended up doing mostly was the bath thing.
Oh, the bath thing.
The bath thing, which is like where you turn on the bath and then you lie under it like with your legs open and your butt like all the way
Pressed
up
up
to it.
against the edge. Yeah.
And I remember then when we moved to a different house and we got a different bath
it's
and I was
so
like
disruptive.
I was like, this is fucked. There is no way I can get my clits to that point. I'm like, I'm gonna need to figure out how to masturbate on my own.
Yeah, that was one of my things too. Was like I would go to different places and like, how am I ever gonna get my pussy up under this waterfall?
I know, it's like then I got abs.
I know. Oh, I like struggled through some of it. I was like the water be filling up in the bathtub.
Yeah, and you're like you're drowning, but you're like I'm about to come. You're about to come. There's like it's bouncing off your vagina. The bathroom is flooding.
Well, I had like a specific like place where I liked the water because it came down too hard if there wasn't a barrier of water a little bit. So I'd filled it up just enough where there's like a little barrier of water and then the water was coming down over that and it was like the right kind of pressure. It reminded me of the water jets. The direct pressure was too much, but then it would be like filling up. Like, you gotta
like-
come now.
It doesn't give you a lot of time there.
No. It was like
get her done.
off to the races.
Yeah.
So, get my scramble porn on and then run upstairs.
Did you ever do the like? I know you said when you were really little, but the humping like the side of your bed or whatever. Because that was never what I did.
I was a humper, big time, but I had like this big panda bear, and I would straddle him and like ride it.
Oh.
I would like grind on it, and I just intuitively knew like that's something that felt good. I think also I came from like a very Christian household, so when even people kissed on TV, my parents would go, "Ew, yucky, bad." So it was like put in my head that like any form of sexuality outside of Christ was like bad. So maybe that's where my like intuitive shame came from. But I've also talked to other people that didn't have as strict of a Christian upbringing that kind of felt the same thing. But I'd make my Barbies go down on each other. I knew what oral sex was before anyone told me. I was like, I bet someone's mouth on my genitals would feel amazing.
You don't think that was from TV?
No. Because, like, my parents were so strict. And I remember playing with my Barbies and being like, Barbie A is going to just place her mouth on Barbie B's vagina. And I'd get, like, really excited playing these games.
That's funny. Because
I don't know
remember
why I knew that.
when I would call it, my Barbies were doing it because I watched Friends and they called it sex doing it. Oh. And so I didn't, like, even know the word sex or whatever. It was just like, did you guys do it?
Yeah.
Monica and Chandler are doing it or whatever. So it was like I would have my Barbies do it. My dog, Norma Jean, she has this pig that she humps the shit out of. And she's like spayed, but she humps that pig and like yells at him. And it's so funny. But like that internalized shame, like she doesn't like when I'm looking at her. Like then she'll stop and she'll pretend they're playing. She'll be like suckling his ear or whatever.
Funny.
But then like
she's like aggressively fucking this pig.
And then she like throws him off the bed when she's done. Like she's like a dom. Like and I'm like, I don't know where you learned this, but okay, that's my girl.
But when you look at her, or if I ever try to record her doing it for like
She
Instagram,
won't.
she stops. She's like Bitch.
She knows.
You're interrupting me in piggy time.
Well, I think we both started masturbating pretty young.
Yeah.
Even though we had like very different upbringings. But I know a lot of people who haven't masturbated, because we're talking specifically about female masturbation, and like girls who haven't started exploring their bodies till they were in their 20s, really, you know?
I know women who didn't have like their first orgasm until they were in their 20s, which is really wild. Women have a hard time compartmentalizing the way they feel about their bodies and masturbating. So a lot of women who don't feel confident in themselves don't feel like they want to masturbate.
But that's interesting, and that makes sense.
So women in their late 20s masturbate the most at
How
any
often?
demographic.
How often do you masturbate?
It really fluctuates.
Really?
I forget to sometimes, and I realize I haven't had an orgasm in far too long, and then I do it out of utility. And then there's also days where I do it 5 times. It's really like I don't have an average. I'll go weeks without it. And then, I really wanted to last night, and I forgot because I was so tired. Like I got home, and I was like, I'm feeling I got a dick pic that was like luscious, and I really was feeling it and wanted to jerk off, and I put on Bachelor in Paradise, and I forgot.
Well, yeah.
How often do you masturbate?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah. I masturbate every day if I'm not in a relationship.
Okay.
Because I can also masturbate just without a sex toy.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to admit, so everyone doesn't feel weird about it, I can't manually make myself come unless I really, really focus and take like 45 minutes or more. I don't have time for that, so I always use a vibrator. So
whereas I feel like I can make myself come just thinking about it. Like if I think about coming enough, like even without touching myself, like it's more a mental thing to me.
Right.
So I can make myself come manually, but once I'm single, I want a toy or something to make it easier. But
I definitely manually masturbated when like times have gotten tough and like I haven't had sex for a really long time. I think that it's really kind of 50-50. If like a lot of girls I know come really easily, and I'm not one of those girls.
I think it's less than 50-50. I think it's pretty rare as a woman to come.
But I feel like so many of my friends can, so it made me think
maybe it's a different population.
Maybe.
That you're around. Because most of the people that I know who aren't in any sort of like sex-related industry have a hard time coming even by themselves.
Right. A fun fact about the clit is that it's a lot bigger than you think it is. So visually you see this little bump. I'm praying that if you're listening to this, you know what the clit looks like. And if you don't, study up. But however, I want to like somehow, maybe I'll post like a picture on Instagram stories or something to show a diagram of what the clit looks like, but it actually goes outside onto like the outer lips of the vagina, and it's like a huge internal thing. People don't realize how magical the clit is and how easily you can come, even if it's not just from manual stimulation or penetrative stimulation. You can do both, and you can oftentimes think you're coming from penetrative stimulation, but it's actually clitoral because it's hitting you in the right clit spot.
Yeah, because that's where all the nerves are, because like the clit has basically the same amount of nerves in that one spot as the entire penis has.
So here are some fun facts about the female orgasm. The clitoris has up to 8,000 nerve endings. Okay, so no one's actually counted, but doctors estimate that between 6,000 and 8,000 nerve endings exist in the clitoris alone. What you see of the clit is just the tip of the iceberg. So just imagine an iceberg and the tip. The tip is what you see, and that's what you play with, and I hope to God you're putting your tongue on it. But there are many other ways to stimulate the vagina.
And we're talking about masturbation.
Right.
So not the tongue.
Well, a girl can dream. Sure, you can put your fingers on it or a vibrator too. Okay, multiple orgasms are no myth. A study of 800 female college graduates found that approximately 43% reported having had multiple orgasms. So exactly what is a multiple orgasm? Some women experience long, cascading orgasms, where you continue to have strong, rhythmic pelvic contractions for a long time. And then there are orgasms where you have the over-satisfied sensation, which stops, and then with more stimulation starts again.
That's what I get.
So you get like I call it like the wave crashing and then the wave crashing again.
Yeah, like I'll have, not when I masturbate. Like I'll never, once I orgasm, I'm done. But
see, with the magic wand, I can give myself multiples.
I can give myself multiples, but I'm never, with the magic wand, but I would never like, usually I'm just like...
Sometimes I feel savage and I'm like, yeah!
Sometimes, but not every day. That's not my every day. My every day is just like magic wand, one and done situation. Right. But some people only masturbate manually. And
right.
Like me, when I masturbate manually, I don't finger myself.
Right, it's more just, of a clitoral.
Exactly, but I know like some
visible
women,
clitoral. Do you like stimulate the outer parts of your vagina, or do you just mainly focus
with
on
my other hands sometimes? Okay. But yeah. I'm like, ambidextrous.
If I myself am horny, I'll kind of grab my pussy from the outside and like squeeze it together from the outside to stimulate my
yeah,
clit.
that feels really good. And
I love when other people do that to me. Same. So that's a really sexy way to like get yourself going, is kind of playing with your pussy on the outside and like kind of closing
like
it over your clit.
Yeah, it's like it feels really good.
Because that's actually part of your clit. Like that outside part is part of your clit, and it's got that 8,000 nerve endings, so it's very sensual to kind of tease yourself.
I know a lot of friends who use the one that makes it feel like it's sucking on your clit.
I love that one.
I got one and I didn't like it, but maybe I got the wrong one. It didn't feel like enough.
Yeah, so I got one sent to me, and so I was like very curious because I know that a lot of girls raved about it. It's called the Womanizer, which I hate the name. It's a vibrator situation called the Womanizer where it actually creates like an air suction on your clit. So it's like pulling on your clit, which is bringing blood up to it, you know, which is stimulating and like a quick pattern. But the one that I got also had a vibration. So I did vibrate in that. And it makes you come so hard it almost hurts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, whoa. Okay. I almost felt like it was so intense. And this is also like a myth that like if you are using certain toys to masturbate, you're going to become not as sensitive to real sex. In fact, the more you make yourself come, regardless of how,
the easier.
It's easier to come when you're having sex. So like whatever you think about using your vibrator on maximum or minimum, or using your hands, you're not
or your panda
or your jets your jets,
your bathtub.
If you've got a hot tub, invite me
your
over,
dashboard confessional CD. Do you have facts about masturbation as opposed to orgasm?
Yeah, orgasming releases oxytocin and dopamine, which is actually great for your mental health. Also, female masturbation has been linked to helping help with cramps.
It doesn't help mine though.
It makes mine worse because I think I come so hard. I come and it's amazing, and then my body's like, bitch.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. Like, it hurts me more.
My contractions are so intense so that they make my cramps hurt more.
Same.
It says the average orgasm lasts about 2 minutes.
Oh.
Which is actually quite long.
That seems longer. I'm like, mine's long, but I'm like, it's
I feel like mine's like 30 seconds of intensity, but then it's also the build-up. God,
totally.
We love the build-up.
The build-up is even better than the actual. Like,
oh my God,
me,
do you guys ever edge yourselves?
Yeah.
So for people who haven't heard of edging, edging is basically, it can be done by someone else or yourself. It's getting you up to the point where you're seriously about to fucking come, and then you stop whatever you're doing and you don't orgasm. So it's like, for me, edging myself would look like putting the vibrator on my clit until I'm about to come, and then when I'm about to, I stop and don't let myself, and I keep watching porn, or I keep whatever. And edging is so fun because I feel like part of the fun of an orgasm is the leading up to. And with really good vibrators, you can come in like 30 seconds.
I can't come in 30 seconds.
See, that's so weird because manually it takes me so long, but with a vibrator, I mean, if I'm ready to rock, it can happen within 2 minutes. I'm complete. Like, it's done. Sometimes I'm really horny and I want to like drag it out, and so I will edge myself.
That's what I'll do too. Yeah. But I'll turn it on my magic wand. I'll turn it up and then turn it down.
Yes, exactly.
And then turn it up and then turn it down.
And yeah, exactly. It's so fun. Do we have any tips for maybe women that are struggling to orgasm at home?
I mean, don't put pressure on yourself. Just lay in bed, put on whatever music you want, or videos,
whatever disgusting porno,
whatever disgusting porn, or hot Game of Thrones scene, or whatever your fancy is.
Let's destigmatize the idea of what people want to masturbate to, because I feel like everyone's girls want to watch girl stuff. And I'm I like watching gangbangs.
Me too.
Watching blow bangs.
Oh, I love a gangbang, hardcore gangbang, cream pie, whatever. I love it.
And then there's nothing wrong with that. That's what gets your rocks off.
But sometimes I also will read erotica, or just put on a song that I think is sexy, and or just use my imagination.
Absolutely. There's no wrongdoing in watching some freaky ass shit, because
there's no problem.
I film a lot of freaky ass shit, and I hope that it's not for nothing. I hope y'all are masturbating to it.
Exactly. So people do whatever you want, and don't put time pressure on yourself. Just use it as I think the best part of masturbating is that you don't have to worry about anyone else. So you can just not worry about the time and do what feels good, as long as it feels good. And if you want to switch it up to something else, do that. But don't put pressure on yourself. I feel like women put a lot of pressure on themselves, and in sex it becomes so performative for your partner because of a lot of societal and cultural, norms. But let masturbation be your chance to do something nice for yourself.
It's self-care, truly.
And we both said, we both like the build up to orgasm as much as the actual orgasm. So don't put your pressure on yourself to orgasm. That's not the goal. The goal is to see what you like and don't like.
And it's not limited to touching your pussy. I've been in a certain zone and been masturbating, and grabbing my own tits turns me on and shit. If you get yourself in a certain mindset.
I always like to grab my thighs and stuff.
Yeah, it's romance yourself a little.
Treat yourself nice. So I mentioned liking erotica, and what erotica is basically sexually explicit stories, or parts of books. There's this threesome. When I was younger, there's this threesome in Glamorama by Bret Easton Ellis.
I love Bret Easton Ellis.
And
so
there's
much.
the hottest 2 guy and 1 girl threesome in Glamorama, and it's 10 pages long. And I would masturbate to that all the time.
Okay.
But anyway,
where else can you find erotica?
I'll look at Reddit, and then there's a website called Literotica. And there's just a bunch of different options, because sometimes I don't want to look at anything and I want to read, and I love to read. So it's super hot to kind of just let your imagination go. I know some people loved 50 Shades of Grey. That's not really what I'm talking about. I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine, but that's not what I'm talking about. But
Bret
sort
Easton
of
Ellis is very graphic.
Just as porn can be graphic, so can writing. And I love reading, so I like to read either sex stories on Reddit or Literotica, or just books with great sex scenes.
And if you want to just masturbate to some good old-fashioned pornography, Pornhub is a great place to go. You can literally search for any category of what you're looking for. So say you're nasty like us and you want to watch a little gangbang, search gangbangs. You'll see a variety of gangbangs in which you can choose from to masturbate. If you have a favorite performer that you like to watch fuck, you can search their name and watch them. Pornhub is all free. If you have a particular porn star that you like and if they make their own content, I definitely suggest purchasing that because it directly helps them. Sidebar.
Yeah.
Also, if you're not a manual simulation woman, there's a few different toy options. So we talk about the Magic Wand a lot. It's by Hitachi. And then there's also, I like the Thunder Stick a lot. I discovered that when I actually did a sex toy demonstration. The Thunder Stick is almost the same. It just has a different vibration. So it looks the same. It's like a smaller Hitachi, and it you can't get it cordless. It's plugged in. But I literally pick my Hitachi or the Thunder Stick depending on the kind of orgasm that I want. And they're just different. And I can't really
How are they
describe
different?
it. The Thunder Stick is one of those ones that makes me come so hard it hurts. And the Magic Wand kind of gives me the multiples.
Interesting.
Yes. And then there's also the Womanizer, which is like the suction one. So if you want to try something a little new and innovative, there's one called the Womanizer, and there's one I think called Satisfier. And those are like the suction ones that you put in your clit that like pull it up, get that like suction with the blood pumping. And then there's obviously dildos. For me, I don't personally like understand and just like putting a dildo in there and like making yourself come. However, we'll go over it and like we're gonna do a whole sex toy episode. But there's like a whole line of like monster cocks, like tentacles, and like the idea of like a dragon dick. And it's a company called Bad Dragon, and all of their sex toys are really like smushy and like squeezable and like this incredible material, and they can suction onto the floor or the wall. And I found a tentacle one and I sat on it, and boy oh boy did I have a crazy orgasm. So, you know, it's not like a dildo sticking straight up there, but it's like this
something
really,
you can ride.
It's something you can ride. It was like mushy and like getting up in like the crevasses.
Nice.
So I would love to talk about sex toys in the near future.
So speaking of people getting off, should we do DM of the week?
We should absolutely.
So, I don't know if you know who James Joyce is, but he wrote Ulysses, which is like one of the most famous epics ever. And I'm obsessed with his dirty letters. He used to write his wife. So I thought what would be kind of fun instead of DM for the week is for me to read one of the letters that he wrote in 1909.
1909 sexts. This is a sext from 1909.
So, to someone who would eventually be his wife, but this is before they were married.
Oh.
So he wrote, "My sweet little whorish Nora, I did as you told me, you dirty little girl, and pulled myself off twice when I read your letter. I'm delighted to see that you do like being fucked assways. Yes. Now I can remember that night when I fucked you for so long backwards. It was the dirtiest fucking I ever gave you, darling. My prick was stuck up in you for hours, fucking in and out under your upturned rump. I felt your fat, sweaty buttocks under my belly and saw your flushed face and mad eyes. At every fuck I gave you, your shameless tongue came bursting out through your lips. And if I gave you a bigger, stronger fuck than usual, fat, dirty farts came spluttering out of your backside. You had an ass full of farts that night, darling, and I fucked them out of you, big fat fellows, long windy ones, quick little merry cracks, and a lot of little tiny naughty farties, ending in a long gush from your hole. It was wonderful to fuck a farting woman when every fuck drives one out of her. I think I would know Nora's fart anywhere. I think I could pick hers out in a room full of farting women. It is a rather girlish noise, not like that wet, windy fart which I imagine fat wives have. It is sudden and dry and dirty, like what a bold girl would let off in a fun school dormitory at night. I hope Nora will let off no end of her farts in my face so that I may know their smell also. You say when I go back, you will suck me off and you want me to lick your cunt, you little depraved blackguard. I hope you will surprise me sometime when I'm asleep, dress, steal over with a whore's glow in your slumberous eyes, gently undo button after button in the fly of my trousers, and gently take out your lover's fat Mickey, lap it up in your moist mouth, and suck away until it gets fatter and stiffer and comes off in your mouth.
Holy shit.
It keeps going. It's almost done. Sometime, too, I shall surprise you asleep, lift up your skirts and open your hot drawers gently, then lie down gently by you and begin to lick lazily around your bush. You will begin to stir uneasily. Then I will lick the lips of my darling's cunt. You will begin to groan and grunt and sigh and fart with lust in your sleep. Then I will lick up faster and faster like a ravenous dog until your cunt is a mass of slime and your body wriggling wildly. Good night, my little farting Norda, my little dirty fuckbird. There is one lovely word, darling, you have underlined to make me pull myself off better. Write me more about that and yourself. Sweetly, dirtier, Jim.
What? Oh my god.
So people have been DMing and masturbating forever, even the greats. James Joyce.
He loves a little farty fart.
He loved it. He remembered. Wasn't it?
I wonder if he was talking about pussy farts or butt farts.
We will never know.
We'll truly never know.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway, was that good?
A little bit of both. A little column A, a little column B.
Exactly.
Wow, that was sultry.
It was, right?
Are people going to be grabbing for their magic wands right now?
Maybe. We don't know.
I feel like I'm a little flushed.
You liked it, huh?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I like that? I want some guy to praise the idea of me farting.
I know. He's like, I just want to know your smell. Anyway.
I can acquaint thee.
If you liked that or would like to know our fart smell, please listen, download, rate, subscribe, leave reviews. We love them. Maybe we'll read a review.
Let's read a review. This is a review left by Makeup Mel. I am so happy that you girls started this. You're both intelligent, funny, interesting, and so charming. Thank you for educating people in such a fun and entertaining way. Can't wait to hear the rest of the episodes.
Woo.
5 stars by Makeup Mel. Thank you, Makeup Mel.
Thank you. Thanks. We're so glad you're enjoying it. And as always, follow us at Slut Shame This on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yep.
And listen wherever you get your podcast because we'll be on Spotify now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm so excited. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been charting. We're charting in
like sex and relationships.
Sex and relationships. So that's like, we're 4 or 5 episodes in. This is thrilling. And honestly, you guys leaving reviews and rating is like helping us tremendously. We really want to get into the new and noteworthy section of iTunes podcast. So keep it up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your support.
This is so much fun.
We love you. And now we're going to see ourselves out because we have some personal business to attend to after listening.
I gotta fart in some faces.
It was nice, right?
I loved that so much. That was incredible.
So good.
What?